Make sure the little red light's blinking. There we go.
It is.
All right. Welcome to 605. I'm a placeholder until Dr. Robertson gets back from Europe, and he'll be back in. He'll be back on the 19th. He'll be back on the 19th, and so let me see. All right, so you should see the Blackboard screen right now. Who this is? All right, so Dr. Robertson will be with you. I have gone in and I have graded all your work, and I have read all your discussion boards, and I was with Dr. Robertson at 9:20 a.m. his time this morning. Who knows what time that was my time this morning? That was 4:20 a.m. my time this morning. I normally don't get up for 4:30, but I got up 10 minutes early for him. And so the only task left for him to do is he's going to view all of your personal statements videos. I asked that he do that to try to get to know you. I know most of you through email, or I've seen you before, or we've communicated or whatever, but he needs to get to know you. So he's going to watch your video. Everything else is caught up. I read all your discussion boards. They were great. The course is kind of jumbled a little bit, and I've thought about going in and just putting the original shell back in. That's my shell, but I didn't. I didn't want you folks to have to start again. So he will schedule your next roundtables. They were tentatively scheduled for these dates, and he will do that. I've asked that he not schedule them for the mornings because I know y'all are all at work. So hopefully he'll do that. So it's me and him. It's me till he gets here, and he's already there. Your syllabus has been changed to reflect. Although it says Fry, it has been changed to reflect him. You can post questions here. You've done all of you have enrolled because I verified your enrollment yesterday. You know, this right here can go. I can let me. I'm just going to delete that off. Okay. So everybody knows that in 605, your job is to finish whatever task stream task that you haven't done. Do that. Don't hang on me. All right, got out. Good enough. All right, let me. Okay, it took that out. All right, so y'all are still seeing the screen. The course overview page. All right, let's get here. Discussion board and group artifact review. All right, so you can put general questions in here. Somebody's put one in since the last time I was in. Let's see what this one is. Okay, I was looking at responses from previous classes. All right, I took all those old responses out anyway, so they're good to go for Courtney. So this is the place in discussion board where you come both to do your discussion board questions and to upload your work for peer review. Each of your groups has a box right here, and you can put as many things in there as you want, ever how many you need to be reviewed. Your groups, and I will get this on the front page sometime tonight. I will get this on the front page. Here are your groups. These are your groups right now. And so that was emailed to you by Courtney today. Thank you, Courtney, for doing that. And so here are your groups, and that's what goes in that box. These boxes down here at the bottom is work that you need peer reviewed to get it in there. Now, I don't know what Dr. Robertson's going to do, but my suggestion is you don't stand on formality. You get it reviewed. You get it in there as quickly as you can and get it reviewed so that you can get your final evidence narratives put together as quickly as you can, so that you can move on to summary and descriptors. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. As I told some of the early ones tonight, I think I'm on the free one. The professional one wouldn't work tonight. That's why I was late. So I think I'm on a 40-minute timer. So I'm going to go faster than I want to, but y'all probably want me to go fast anyway. The second here, the pacing calendar is here. Your modules have some activities in them to do. You've already found those. I've opened all those up so you can kind of plan your semester. I don't know if Mark is one of those people that likes it Sunday to Sunday. I just post them whenever you get to them, you get to them. You won't be getting any reminder emails from me about you didn't do this week. So if you do this week, fine. If you do 2 weeks this week or one next week, I don't really care. Mark will pick that up. You can tell him I said so, not to be so hard on you on that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am more interested that you get your evidence artifacts in, because that's the 800-pound gorilla in this program is the evidence artifacts. So speaking of that, let me go to come on, you can do it. Let me change browsers again. I'm paused. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to have to change browsers again because I had to change to get on. It kept trying to load the professional one. So I had to change to a different browser so it wouldn't do that. So now I'm going into task string. Okay. I will do a new share here. So you should see the task string screen loading. Let me go to the author view. Let's see. So y'all are what? Y'all started what? Spring of 16?
Yes. 17. Spring of 17.
Spring of 17 add-on.
17.
There we go. All right. So your work page looks like this, right?
Right.
Yes.
All right. So this semester, all of these are due. The rest of them are due. For dispositions, you know, you can go in and do those at any time. You do not have to. You don't have to write anything on dispositions. Just grade yourself on that last one. Let's look at that quickly. When you go in and do a disposition, it says complete this form. I do not care that you put anything, and so actually we've taken the box out of this one. Good. So all you have to do is hit exceeds expectations 6 times, and you'll save, return, submit, and you're good to go.
All right.
Good.
That's quick enough. So that's how you do those. Now, competency analysis this semester, you basically, when you go into that, let me open it up for you. When you go into competency analysis, okay. All right. View, click on evaluation method, view form,
Evaluation method.
and you rate yourself again. Now, here's a quick and easy way to put your narrative in. You got to write your narrative in your evidence anyway. Just copy and paste what you write in the SIOP. Don't you do a competency analysis at the end of the SIOP?
I don't remember.
If you should do a competency.
Yes, you do. It's in task 6.
Yeah, that's right. It's in task 6, which is competency analysis. Just copy and paste those right here in these boxes.
Okay.
Just copy and paste them right in there. Don't write them a second time. It's not anything different. It's the same ones you write in task 6. Just drop them right in there and give yourself a 4 on those and keep rolling. If you've got this far, you deserve a 4. All right. And so when you get to the end of this thing, and Lord, it is a long one. When you get to the end, all right. When you get to the end, it should total all your points and complete itself when it gets to the end. If it doesn't, email me and I'll have to put a save and return button on it. But it's supposed to automatically calculate and get done when you fill in the last one. It's supposed to be done. Your final competency folio, when you get your folio done, you have to upload it right here. So let's look at your competency folio. So let's say, yeah, it will let you submit that, by the way. You just click on the task string button up here and it'll let you submit it. I thought there would be a button that would pop up. So that's the way that works. So you got your competency folio here. When it's done, and everybody knows how to put their competencies in their competency folio. Y'all have been doing that now. So when you get the 3rd round in there and you're ready to upload it, you go back to your DRF. Now don't upload it until it's done. All 3 rounds are in there. When all 3 rounds are in there, you come right over here to final competency folio in your DRF. And you go into attachment. So you click on attachments, attach an artifact created in task string of folio. This one right here. Click on that box, select category. It is a web folio. Select work, competencies 2017. Save and return. And then it will tell you to submit your work, and it'll be submitted for evaluation. Just that simple. But the trick is attachment button, an artifact created, a folio, category, folio, work, competencies 2017. Save and return, submit. So that's the way that you bring it over for evaluation once it's done. Internship log, same as always, you upload this semester's 80 hours. Difference being this time, don't hit the comments button, hit submit work button. Everybody understand that? You don't have to submit it for comments this time. This time, you're submitting it for evaluation when you put your final one in there. So click on internship log, attachment, upload from computer, add files, go to your file manager, wherever you've got it, whether it's on a disk or whether it's on a document. Pick the file that you're going to upload, which will be your internship log. I thought I had one here, but I don't have one. I'll just pick any random. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's a Word document. There you go. Upload it. Start upload. There it is. Upload and close. Save and return. Submit work. And your internship log will be submitted. Remember, it's just pass-fail if you've got the 80 hours. So those are the things that you got to do for us this semester. Put your CAP in, your skip, your SIOP, your dispositions, your competency analysis, and your folio, along with your internship log. And I've just shown you how to upload all those. Now, here's a dirty trick at the end. You know, there's always a dirty trick at the end. And but you already know these. When you submit your CAP, your skip, and the SIOP, when you do your attachment, attachments, upload from computer, you got to do the same thing again, upload from computer and put it in. Click on that, add files. Come on, you can do it. Upload and close. And there it is. There would be your CAP. Save and return. Submit work. There you go. And so, again, you have to go through that process again. But y'all have done it before, so you know how to do that. It's no different than what you've done before. So when you get those three ready, drop them right on in there, just like you've done before. All right. So that's task stream this semester. Anybody have any questions on what's due this semester? It's right here on your screen, on your work screen. Remember to go in from your work screen. CAP, skip, SIOP, dispositions analysis, folio, internship log.
Dr. Lamb, I have a question.
Yes.
Earlier, at the bottom of that, it said something about digital competencies. We're not to do that, correct?
Nope.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's just for the people who started fall of 17.
Okay.
Y'all don't have to do digital competencies. You're welcome.
If we have our skip ready to put in task stream, can we go ahead and do that? Although Dr. Robertson hasn't started.
Please do.
Okay.
But I couldn't hear you, Dr. Lamb.
Please do. Go right it. Don't wait on anybody. If you've got all three of them ready, you put them in now. You don't have to wait.
Okay.
Okay.
No, you go right ahead and put them in there.
Okay.
Well done.
So I'm gonna log out of task stream. No, I'll submit later. And I'm gonna go back.
Are you ready for another question?
I am ready for
I'm
another
full
question.
of questions.
Good.
Okay, so when we started the 605 class, that very first week with Dr. Fry, we were bombarded with, I think, 5 assignments, plus we were to be working on our tasks for our papers. And so do you think that same expectation is going to be throughout the whole semester, that we're going to have so many weekly assignments?
Let's see what we had in week 1 here. Roundtables, next step, artifact 1. Okay, skip resources, strategic interview questions, general questions, discussion boards for 3.
Okay, I think this was the intro module, not week 1. Go to the end that week.
Yeah, she had a lot of stuff for you that week.
It was intense.
Yeah, but y'all have already gotten through. That's why I said you think it was intense. I had to grade all that stuff. So thanks for boarding my whole weekend last weekend. I started Friday night, finished Sunday night. I didn't.
I'm sure.
Thought I had to do it.
It was a lot.
I had 300 discussion boards to read,
Oh,
plus 66 items to grade last week. But don't cry for me. So no, let's go week by week and look and see what we've got here. That's a good thing to do.
yeah.
Roundtable meeting right here. I'll be covering that. Make sure that you get all of your tasks done. We've got kind of a schedule for you here, but artifact after pre-produce, you can upload your work here for peer review. Interview questions, you'll ask to find the prompt that will be y'all have already done your philosophy of education, discussion boards for groups. So there's not really anything else that y'all haven't done for that one. Let's look at module 2. And again, she's got the list, your CAT resources, artifact work. Try one of my win the Head Start presentations. What is this? A current event. Y'all have already done most of this too. I saw some current events already. Roundtable meeting. All right. Interview question. Negative to be used. Okay, so that's that one. Add one of my win the Head Start. What is this? I don't know what that is.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, but we think you should hit delete.
Yeah.
We
Like
said
that
delete.
It's gone. All right. Let's look at
Shake it off.
module 3. Let's see what's in it. Job readiness. Now these are mine. This is from the original scale. Y'all need to look at these. You just have to look at them. What these are. This is all I had in the weeklies in the original shell. That we're getting away from all this busy work stuff. Is a job readiness quiz, a skills outline, and effective leadership. These are just documents for you to look at. These are the kinds of things that you are going to. They're the kind of things that will help you when you're interviewing to try to find new teachers. That's why I put these in here. When you're looking for new teachers, that's a different interview process than experienced people. First thing you have to determine with new teachers is their job readiness. 22 years old, are they ready to, are they likely to show up on time? Are they going to have on the same clothes they had the day before with bar stamps on their hand? I mean, that kind of stuff. So what I always put in my weekly, and I come on every week, but in my weekly sessions is there's things that are real and practical. So just give those a look. There's no, you don't have to take the quiz or any of that. You just have to look at it. What would be a quiz, the kinds of questions that you might ask a beginner. Because unfortunately, about 80% of the interviews done by school administrators now are a brand new people. Say that again. Because of the heavy turnover rate and the lack of people, about 80% of the interviews you're going to be are with new people, just right out of college. And the hardest thing to determine with them is not what did they learn in their college program, but are they ready to put the yoke on and be an adult and pull the wagon? So that's why I had those in there. So that's module 3, module 4, administrative interview protocol. What this is if you're interviewing an administrator, and I think you're asked to do that, I always give my students a set of questions that you don't have to use them, but the kinds of things that you might want to ask an administrator when you interview them. It's just for your use. Doesn't have to, it's not a checklist kind of thing. It's just something that to kind of guide you if you're doing an interview. So that's the only thing in module 4. Module 5. This is mine again. This is very important. By this time, you're going to be at the end of your program. You need to understand Johari Winda. You can actually read it, but you can actually take one. And the idea here is knowing yourself, what others can see, your blind spots, things you can't see. This is a good exercise. It's just something that you do on your own. There's no written report or any of that. It's just a practical thing to get you maybe understanding what you can't see about yourself, which is maybe the most important thing about leadership. And then 6, SMART goals, task and relationship behaviors, transformation leadership. Again, just document, just information for you. No activities to do or any of that kind of stuff. These are things that are important. You need to know what task and relationship behaviors are. You've heard about them the whole semester, Hershey and Blanchard and all these different ones. And you need to know that we're now moving to transformational leadership. Transformational leadership says that you may start out in situational where you vary the levels of task and relationship behaviors of your followers based on their maturity. But eventually, you want to get them all to the point where it's high task and high relationship for all of them. That's the only way that schools are effective is high task, we got to get it done, and high relationship, I care about you. You may start varying the levels, but you want to end up high task, high relationship for everybody. And so students always ask me, well, what does that mean? What are task and relationship behaviors? I found this document. I may be even able to open it up and we'll look at it. You'll go over these. Let me move this. Should be a Word document pop up here in a second. Here it comes. Tell me if you can see this on your screen.
It's opening.
All right.
Yes.
Qualities of task-oriented leadership, qualities of relationship. And then here are some lists. I like lists. I like graphic organizers. I like people tell me stuff. All right. So these are task and relationship behavior. And so these are the kinds of things that eventually, it's not one or the other. Eventually, you want to get to where you're doing both with your followers. That's what transformational leadership is. Leadership for the 21st century is high task and high relationship. We know that we can't just be stuck in, well, they're new, so I'll just do a lot of relationship and I won't have many expectations or task, type of behaviors that I want them to do. No, you can start them out that way, but very quickly you've got to move to a point where there are high expectations in terms of task and you give them plenty of relationship support. So these are the kinds of things that I had for you in my shell that looks like some of it was taken out, but that's what I had for you. And then the last one, let's see. Little low now. It's trying. Yeah. These again are just documents. They're just documents. They're not activities. All right. The assessment inventory is for safe schools. Everybody knows, you learned in 603, 115C 288, duties and responsibilities of the principal. You got to do a fire drill every month. But if you read it closely, it said you have to do 2 safety inspections. It's becoming critical that you have a written record. If you as the new AP, this will be your job because nobody else wants to do it. But twice a month, you and the custodian got to go around and do a safety inspection. And you should file those things in case there's ever a problem at your school. You can prove that it wasn't an ongoing thing, that it was a fluke accident. And so I created this assessment inventory when I was in Charlotte-Mecklenburg and required the schools there to do it twice a month and to file these things. And so that's what that is. Your crisis box is in the front office. This is what should be in it. This is what Teacher Working Conditions Survey says about facilities and resources in terms of things you should be working on. There's your teacher evaluation manual. Here's a document where I explain how EVOS works. I know that you've seen EVOS, but nobody ever tells you how it works. I've broken it down and explained how EVOS works. I've created that document. And I've got a couple of Marzano files in there. Things, because people are always asking me, well, what do best practices look like? You always hear about best practices, high yield strategies. What do they look like in reality? These two documents explain what you should look for when you go in the classroom as evidence that high yield strategies are being used. They're practical. Things that you would look for. So the good thing is, looks like about the last 4 of these, there are actually no activities to do other than just things to review and talk about when you get together with Dr. Robertson in your group session. I guess that's what I do with mine. We just discuss those things when we get together. So, to Susan's question, no, you're not going to be, she front loaded it, looked like, where she had everything up front. See, I would have back loaded it, that you got your evidence artifacts done first.
Yeah.
That's just the difference there. So from about module 4 on, you're golden. You won't have any more assignments to do. So y'all have probably got 80% of your assignment work done already. So that's good. And the rest of it is bad. So now start focusing on your evidence artifacts.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Lamb, may I ask a question?
Yes.
This is Rita Vaughn. For the add-on program, why did they not do a graduation for the add-on?
Yeah.
Because we don't get a chance to meet the people who we work with.
I know. We've recommended that several times.
Mm-hmm.
We've recommended that several times. Or at least give you a certificate, but the university, I don't know, they don't agree with that. So we would love, and we will invite you to a reception of some sort. We would love to have you at graduation. I don't know why they don't do that. They're consolidating graduations, I guess. So
The reception would be nice.
would be nice.
So we're all together.
We'll do something.
Now we can meet each other. We see each other in this little box.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.
I want to see you guys outside of the box.
I know. I'll have to lose some weight before December then if you're going to see me.
Exactly. No, we're going to come as we are.
Okay. You're usually seeing me in my pajamas, so I'll try to put some clothes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. What's next? I have tried to take as much of the busy work out as I could. I've opened it up. I've graded your stuff. Everybody's in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
I won't click on Grade Center because I got to show everybody's grades. Everybody's grades are good. Nobody's got any worries there, so everything is going well.
Dr. Lamb, I have a question. This is Victoria.
Yes.
When we're submitting our documents to Task Stream, does it matter if it's a document altogether, or would you rather for us keep it as separate tasks?
We want them all in one.
All in one.
The final one that goes into Task Stream should be one comprehensive document that looks like you sat down and wrote it at one time.
Okay.
Because that's the way they're going to read it. And they don't like having to open up different sections. They like to be able to read it, because always the first task bleeds into the second task, into the third task, and the fourth
Right.
task. And if you put it in separate documents, we have to go back and forth and open up all these different documents. And then the grading rubric disappears from the screen. And they all call me about what happened to Task Stream. I can't make it work. And so it makes it a lot easier on me in terms of questions and problems if you will make sure it's all in one document.
Good deal.
I have a question about that. So in the future, when we write the cap in the last paper, should we approach that as assuming you read our first paper?
That's a good question.
Because if we upload them separately, when we write, say, task 2 in comparison to task 1, it seems as if we're writing as if a fresh person is reading task 2.
I prefer the template approach when I'm grading. what that means is you write task 1, and then on that same paper, you write task 2. So I can roll back up and look at task 1 while I'm reading 2, and 3, and then 4. That way, when you get done, it's all ready together anyway. Now, some of the graders don't like that. I just want to read. I just want to read this. I think they're the people that have to sit with a notebook in their lap with the rubric in it. You know, to make it faster for me, I just memorized all the rubrics. And so I know what I'm looking for, and I prefer it that way. But I would tell you to write them as if they hadn't seen the one before, because that way they won't have to go back and find another document. But do it the way that's fastest and easiest for you. Again, I like templates. I like creating my document template with all of my prompts and all my tasks in it, and then just start filling them in. To that end, I just did one of those for the students that I'm coaching in 601. I'm coaching 2 groups with Dr. Stedman. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll have to take a second here to plug it in. If I lose you, I'll be right back. All right. So when I talk about the template approach, this is how I do them. If I were writing them, I'd create me one document. I'd put my heading, your name goes here. That is an IQ test. Don't leave me. Your name goes here. Highlighted areas, add your text here, red as reminders. I just type them all out. And I know this is where I'm supposed to put text. I just have it all. I have the whole thing in a template like this. It took me about 30 minutes to make this template. And that's what I do. And I just start putting my text in there. That's how I'm teaching the 601s to do it as well. That way you can see what you've already done. It's all in one document. The references are at the end. You just keep adding to the list and alphabetizing them. And so when you get through the last task, your final paper is done. And you don't have to go back and try to put them together and do a copy and paste. Margins don't line up and all that business. It's right here, and I've got it formatted for APA already. The margins are correct. The font and style and size and the headings, everything is correct. The references are in the proper format. And I've got an example of, everything is like it's supposed to be. And I've got exemplars of what I'm looking for, what I should be thinking about when I write my description. So I like the template myself, but everybody doesn't like that. Some people think that's too restrictive. So, that's a good question. But ever how best that you can do it is how you should do it.
Do you think they grade you down if you don't put it in one document, Dr. Lamb?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. The aggravation factor. You always want the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and
it's like I teach 601s. It's called anticipatory set. That's an important thing in learning to read. I was a million years ago. Can you imagine? I was an elementary principal. A million and a half years ago. I was an elementary principal. That's one of the things that I learned watching my best primary teachers to teach kids to read. A big part of learning to read is anticipatory set. That if you're following the content and you are, and comprehension is there, you'll kind of know what's coming next, And you got to kind of train your evaluators to know what's coming next so they can see what's happening. If they have to stop and upload another document, they kind of lose that anticipatory set and kind of lose the benefit of the doubt sometimes. And so I truly think it's just human nature that when it's all in one document, it's easy to read and it flows and you can just go from one section to the next. I think you get higher scores. I really do. We're all just human. And the aggravation factor always plays a part of grading, I think, when it's fairly subjective. So, yes, I think you get better scores by putting them all in a single document. It's a great question.
I have another question about artifact due dates. Are we following the same timeline as far as Zooms and artifact submission goes?
Yes. Yeah, try to stay on those as best you can.
Okay.
I sent out an email today. I don't know if it'll let me copy and paste it or not. Let me see. Let me go over that with you. All right, so here's the scoop. Graduation is Saturday, December 16th. Students planning to graduate or complete their add-on licensure must apply for a graduation. If you don't have
Dr. Lamb, your voice is kind of low.
You have to apply for graduation even if you're add-on. You don't have to pay for graduation, but you do have to apply.
Okay.
And if you have not, you can go to Web Connect and do that. And if you can't apply through Web Connect, you need to contact Seth Opry now. Students in MELS 605 must have all 6 evidence artifacts submitted for evaluation by Saturday, December the 2nd. The competency folio and internship logs must be uploaded at the same time, December 2nd, for evaluation. All other competency analysis and disposition must be completed by December 9, as well as the revisions to any of the revisions you might have to do to evidence artifacts, so that your portfolio is complete, done, out the door by Saturday, December the 9th, so that you can get on the list to finish. So make sure.
Can you forward us that email?
I'm going to try right now to put
Okay,
it
with
right
those dates.
I'm going to put it right here if it will let me.
Okay.
And there it is.
Okay.
Right there on your course overview page. So that, try to stay on the schedule as much as you can, but that's the one that really matters, that everything's got to be in there by December 2nd in terms of your evidence artifacts. But try to stay on your schedule. I mean, by now, y'all have figured out, that you can kind of work around the schedule and you can do what you need to do. I'm not, by this time, if it's faster, I mean, if you want your groups for review, I'm not sure at this point how many more times you need to do Zoom reviews. If they're taking you too long to schedule, just do the written ones and move on. If somebody says anything, tell them I said so. The content's more important than the process at this point.
Okay.
I suspect y'all all know how to use Zooms and do a Zoom review by now. And so the important thing is to get your work reviewed, get it edited, and get it into both Blackboard and TaskStream. That's what's important in 605, not that you do X number of Zooms. The work is what's driving us now. And there's a lot to do in this semester. And thankfully, most of the busy work kind of things you've already done, and so now you can be able to focus on your evidence artifact. If you like doing Zooms, if they help you doing Zooms and peer review, by all means do them. But if they're slowing you down and it's just, you're just doing them because somebody said you need to do them, don't. Just do the written reviews and move on.
Okay.
Work is what's important here.
So Dr. Lehman, we, say for instance, if we don't have a Zoom link on our written peer reviews when we turn it to TaskStream, are you graded for that, graded down for that as well? Okay.
No.
Okay.
We just want to know that you peer reviewed.
Okay.
How you do it. By the time you get to 605, you've been peer reviewing for so long, we know you can do it. The point of the exercise is to get the feedback, not to have a video.
Right.
That's ancillary. That's just process. And once you've done it a couple times, I figure you probably mastered that task. Don't get so enamored with the technology that you don't realize it's the content of what you're learning is important. Yes, we want you to have some technical skills, but not to the exclusion of, well, I didn't get finished on time and I had to go to 699 with that awful man. And that I'm being that awful man at 699 because you couldn't get your Zoom scheduled. That would be a ridiculous reason not to finish on time. And so, and it's part of this is self-serving too. I don't want to have you 699. I don't like 699. I want everybody to finish on time. You got in to get out.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
It's not my job to make more money for the university. My job is to get you through. And see, the thing about it is, the university doesn't make any money on 699. All we do in 699 is charge you the TaskStream fee and a couple other fees, and that's it. We charge you $520 for 699, so we're not making any money.
Wow.
So, but you don't want to even have to pay that. You want to finish on time. You want to get out. See, the advantage that you folks are going to have if you get out at Christmas is that you're going to be in the job market this spring before the spring graduates.
Right.
And there'll be interviews this spring, and there'll be openings and things, and you'll be able to hopefully get one of those. I mean, you got in to get out, and you got in and you got out to get a job. I'm going to twist Dr. Robertson's arm, and I'm going to probably be with you at this last one right here, November 8th, and I'm going to do interviewing with you. I have developed a program that's been very successful for my interns and for my 605s, where I go in and I spend a whole session with you teaching you about the 4 different types of interviews that you'll have to go through to get an assistant principalship, and how to avoid the landmines and get you through each of those. There are 4 separate and distinct rounds that you have to go through now. The first one is the initial, or what I call the cattle call interview, and it might be virtual, like if you're in CMS. I've got a script that goes with that. It could be a perceiver, the Gallup people. Some districts still use that. I am a Gallup perceiver, so I can work with you on that one. It may be a data one. It may be a logic one. I have examples of both of those. Second round is group interviews, where they give you a bunch of lay people like teachers and parents and even secondary schools and students, where you have to be able to translate educational jargon into layman terms so that those people can understand you. Then the third round is the principal interview, where you get to use all your jargon, all the acronyms that you know to impress them. And then the fourth one is the superintendent interview, or the area superintendent interview, where you have to be able to speak to 21st century skills in North Carolina future ready students. So I can take you through all 4 of those stages. Our folks are getting a lot of jobs because they're prepared for the interviews. It's not that other places don't know, they just don't know what they're going to be asking those interviews, and they fall for the pitfalls. One of the biggest traps that they hit you with now in interviewing is they want you to tell them your strengths and weaknesses. That's always a landmine question. Well, that one's very simple to avoid the landmine. All your strengths need to be dispositional. I'm honest. I'm dependable. I'm hardworking. I'm on time. I'm ethical. Those are things that won't change. Those are characteristics that you have. Your weaknesses are always based on inexperience. That can change with time and experience. So what the dispositional attributes show them that you have the potential to learn and to grow into the job. They're not expecting the first-time person to have great skills, but you make a mistake when you walk in and say, well, I'm not really a morning person. Well, I can't change that. School starts in the morning. Or, you know, I've had people walk in and tell me things. I was principal at an early start high school in Charlotte. All the high schools in Charlotte start early. I was principal at 4 AA high school that started every morning at 6:45. If somebody came in and said, well, I'm not really a morning person, I couldn't wait to get them out the door. I don't think you. You know, and I've got my top 10, you know, things that you need to know when you go in to interview. And one of them is you need to be honest about time and responsibilities. I went to Hickory Grove and saw Aquanetta's a few years back, and I said, I see on here on the board that you hired a new assistant principal. I know her. It wasn't even cold weather yet. It wasn't even hog killing weather yet. And she said, well, I've already let her go. I said, wow. You've already let her go? She said, yeah. She said she had to leave every day at 4 o'clock. She knew we were a late start school, but Hickory Grove's got that, you know, Smart Start, Head Start program there. They start it first and then the elementary, and they don't even ring the bell to 4:30 every day. And the teachers can't leave before 5, and she had to leave every day at 4 o'clock. That would be something that you might ought to mention in the interview.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And my all-time pet peeve for interviewing, y'all already got me started here tonight. My all-time pet peeve is when somebody comes in and tells me, well, I don't really want to work here. I just came for the experience of interviewing. Well, my job's not to get you experience. I'm trying to hire somebody to work here. So what you're saying to me is I don't want to work in this bad place that you work in. I just want to know what the questions are, so when I go to the good place, I'll be prepared and get that job. No. So don't go interview for a job you wouldn't take. The school won't get any closer to your house because you get the job, and the traffic won't get any better across town or whatever. It's how far it is every day. And if you don't want to work there or that part of town or with that demographic, then don't go. Don't apply for that job just to get the experience of interviewing with that principal, because that's very disrespectful to that principal. Make sure that you've done your homework and you've looked at the demographics of the school, looked at their data, and you've looked at everything that you can that's online, and that you would be willing to work at that school. If not, don't go interview there. The word will get around. Principals talk. They go to meetings every week. They'll talk, and they'll tell it on you. You'll get blackballed. You won't get a job.
Won't get a job. Yep.
So the idea here is to get you a job, but I'll spend the session with you maybe in November.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So what happens if districts do an interview where you're not interviewing for a particular school, but they have a blanket?
That's one of the first level interviews. That's okay. That's what I call the cattle call interviews, where you're not interviewing for a specific job. You're just doing a general interview. There's 4 different types of those. You see my hand. There's 4 different types of those. I can work you through those. But I'm talking about when you get to the 3rd level, when you choose to what school you want to apply at. You know, first level is to get you into the applicant pool. The second one passes the parent test and gets you where you're now a candidate. The 3rd level is when you go to a school and interview with a specific principal at a specific school. But yeah, a lot of districts do the cattle call interviews now, where you just go as a group and you just do general interviews. Yes, you go to those, and I'll teach you how to get through those. But I'm talking about if you make it through to the 3rd round, where you choose what school you want to go interview at that's got an opening once it's posted. If you know you wouldn't work there, don't go to that. You know, you don't have to apply for that school. But yeah, a lot of districts are doing the general interviews now in the beginning, and that's what I was talking about. They're 1 of 4 types, and I'll teach you how to get through. No matter which one they hit you with, you'll be prepared for it.
Okay.
Everybody backs that up with a parent and layperson interview now. See how you fit in that community. So you got to kind of get through that first 2 rounds before you get to the school interviews. And then you have some choice in that one. So that's the idea there. But yeah, I've got it all in the system, the program, and I'd be glad to work with you, and it'll help you.
That's good.
To know what to expect when you walk in, so that you're not just somebody else off the street, somebody random. You know, and the preparation will bring a sense of calmness to you when you walk in. You know, one of the things that I can tell you as somebody who hired principals and hired assistant principals, a lot of them, I don't want people who are nervous. I don't want Barney Fife. I don't want to give somebody a loaded gun that's nervous. And so being prepared, even if it's not exactly the same type of questions or interview, being prepared will bring a sense of calmness to you so that you don't kind of lose your grip during the interview process. Because they may ask you some questions just to see if they can rattle. And if you're prepared, that won't happen. And just going over questions with your husband or your spouse or with a friend won't do it. There is a process to getting a job. And it's just like anything else. It's learned behavior. You learn the process, you can get a job. We can get you a job if you learn the process. But if you just walk in, you know, I'm willing to, you know, just do me, whatever you want to, you won't make it. That's what they're trying to weed out, is the looky-loos, as I call them, that think that they want to do this job but don't really know what it's about. And you know, you'll lose your grip and you won't make it. So there's a system to it. Other questions that you have for me?
No, I think I'm good.
I will figure out a way to post the groups as well. That Courtney, again, thank Courtney for doing that for us. Put those groups together for us. I'll get those posted here on our page as well. I have about graduation. I feel good that the last 4 weeks you don't have any busy work left. You've got most of that stuff done. You know now where to go to exchange your work for peer review. Click on discussion boards and group artifact review, and this is where you go to do your discussion boards, and this is where you go to do your group reviews. We'll have your discussion boards. I don't care what order you do those. Some of them might disappear by the time the next time you look at it. You might review those again. A few of those might disappear. You can't ever.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
I took all the previous responses out so that I could remove some of these if I wanted to. And I do want you to do Rath and Conchi, Sprint Finder book, because that's going to help you in interviewing, because that's the Gallup stuff. And so you really need to make sure you spend some time with that book and determine what your 5 strengths are. And so that's a good one. Some of these others, I'm not so sold on, and so I may take a few of these out before Mark gets a hold of this. Since none of you responded to some of these, I may take a few of these out and get you down to, let's see, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to take 5 of them out.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to take 5 of these out. You shouldn't have about 1 a week for the rest of the way through, so that's enough.
That'd be great.
What I do, these are my discussion boards, and what I do is I give you, the reason why there's so many in here, I give you 2 a week and let you choose which one you want to do. I don't make you do all of them.
Okay.
It's like she put them all in there. Somebody else put a post in here. Let me see what this is. All right, yeah, that's 0. So Mark's still got 11 of your videos to look at. I looked at 1, and I'm gonna have him look at the rest. I'm gonna take 5 of these out in a few minutes. So when you come back in, if 5 of them are gone, don't worry. That was just my gift to you. All right. What's next? I'm looking forward to working with you in November. I'll make sure Mark gets me on the calendar, and we'll talk about, real life stuff about interviewing. I've got some good materials. I think you'll enjoy them. It'll be educational, and it will be helpful when you go out and get started. This Santa Claus beard ought to be grown in by then, and so don't be surprised when Santa Claus shows up in November. All right, y'all all have a good evening. I will see you again soon. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Dr. Lamb.
Thank you.
Nice to meet the rest of you all.
Likewise, likewise.